I was saying to Damien, the reason I'm doing this is because I began to realize that there's a lot of people in Ireland that don't know about the program and are not aware of the benefits of it. There's a lot of you have been on the program, but there's a lot of people that don't know that there's a necessity to do something like this. And I think, it's important to spread the word. There's a lot of young people in Ireland that need to do something like this because it's added value. Like George Eastwood said earlier, the program now in Ireland, there's a lot more technical information involved today, and we've got to do this kind of thing. If we don't, people are going to miss out on it. I see, people like Robbie Moore there, and George. It's fantastic to see you guys in there and doing something like this, and we have to do something like this. Stu, I don't know if you can hear me, but I'd like to introduce you. You're new back in Ireland. Maybe you give your 2 cents worth about what the program for you, Stu.
Yeah, I did the program back. Well, hello everybody, but I did the program back in 2012, 2013, Muirfield Village in Bay Hill. For me, it was career and life changing, opened up all kinds of doors. I ended up going up to Vancouver and ended up working at a really, really good private club up there. But I think it was all through the connections. It was actually Owen Buckley who hired me out of the US at a different private club in North Vancouver before I moved over to Capilano. But look, it's what is it been 10, 11, 12 years on, and my career and life changed once I did the Ohio program. It was kind of going a particular way, and then it just went on leaps and bounds from doing the program. And I think everybody on the call who's done the program can experience that as well. I think for any young people that are on the program or on the call, I think it helps you mature quicker as well. So, you get out of the house. If you're living at home, you go spend 12 months or 6 months or 18 months in a different country, different culture. The States is a fantastic place to live for that period of time or longer. And it just, yeah, it's eye opening for what you do. So, yeah, couldn't recommend it enough. It's definitely been life changing for me.
Yeah. Absolutely. And, when I see Cormac Walsh there, Cormac is probably the most recent back. Cormac, what about you? Where were you at? What was your story?
I was at Sea Pines for 12 months with Brooke and Atlantic Dunes, and yeah, as Stu was saying there, going over and it made you mature a lot, and it opened up your eyes as well to what it's like in a different country and everything. And
Mm.
obviously, you made good connections and still have them connections, which is good. But
And
back home now.
Cormac is down at the old Headache Sale, but I like the fact that he comes back to volunteer at tournaments. He's keeping up on things. George, I see you there with your student, with Glenn. Thanks for coming on today. George, tell us a little bit about your story.
Yep. So in 2000, the year 2000, I went over to Sea Pines as well. I was working on the Ocean and the Seymour Marsh golf course. I had the opportunity to travel further while I was there, but I decided I wanted to stay, and I ended up staying for almost 18 months. It was fantastic. I'd just been in Germany, so I'd been there for 6 months beforehand, so I had like 2 good solid full years traveling, and it opened my eyes to greenkeeping, how brilliant it was. I suppose when you've done stuff like that, it makes you want to stay in greenkeeping. Stuff like that makes
Yes.
you just appreciate your industry more.
Yes.
So
Yes. And that's the key, Damien, is we've got to keep these young people in the industry. We've got to keep the young people in the profession. And there's a young lad sitting beside George there, Glenn, and Glenn has done the 2-year program down in Waterford now with Owen Buckley. And we've got to make sure that he stays in the industry and he gets the opportunity and the networking. And I think if we keep him in the fold, when I look around and I see all of you guys, I mean, it's very important. And nobody wants to lose people, Damien. But you understand, Damien, what I'm saying is if we help him get out there and get good experience, it's a good way to go, Damien. Don't you agree?
Yeah, 100%, 100%. Like keeping lads in the industry, retention and recruitment is probably one of the biggest issues that we have at the minute. So anything we can do to help that, and days like this are important for is very important. So
Yeah.
I couldn't agree more.
Yeah. David Daly, thanks for joining us. David, you were on the program. Tell us briefly what your background is.
Morning, everyone. Yeah, I was there a long time ago as well, 2001, 2002. Went to Bethpage in New York. Got very lucky. Got to work the US Open 2002, which was pretty cool. It was the first big sporting event in New York after 9/11. So you can imagine security and all the bits and pieces that came with that. But yeah, just reiterating what Stu and Damien Boyle are saying, it's a life-changing program. I was a young 19-year-old, never been on an airplane before, went up to New York on my own, my mum and dad crying in the airport. Think I'd never come home, but no, it was amazing. Got to do some cool things over there. Got to caddy for Tiger Woods, two for the US Open and a practice round in Bethpage, which was pretty cool. Got interviewed by John Feinstein for that. He wrote a book about the Bethpage, about the US Open in Bethpage. So there's a couple of pages in that about my experience caddying for Tiger. So yeah, I mean, like where is he going to go? Where in the world are you going to get a chance to do things like that?
Yeah.
And then again, as the lads were saying, living in a different country, working with different cultures, working with different people. Everything in America is big, so experiencing that, working with different graphs. Now, New York or in Bethpage wasn't too similar to over here, but you get that opportunity down south. Had the opportunity to go down to Florida if I wanted for the winter months, but decided I want to stay in Bethpage for the winter to experience the run up to the US Open during the winter months also. But yeah, I mean, it's an amazing program. I would encourage anyone to go on it. Whatever age, whatever experience, whatever way you get into it, to get into it. Yeah, but it's great.
No, but the thing that David mentioned is that he got to do the tournament. I'm doing more and more, Damien, of trying to get these guys into tournaments, because I discovered that networking is golden, and then they see that level of intensity. And Cormac flies back to volunteer at the old at Hilton Head. It's that camaraderie that builds friendships around the world. And I mean, with David, would I be wrong in saying that the job you have today probably was like as a result of the experience that you had in the States? I mean, because you
100%, yeah, absolutely. I came back home in 2002, and I'm obviously from Waterford. Waterford were doing a redesign at the course of the time with Tom Fazio, so I got to experience that. And then on the back of that, then I went up to Killeen Castle and I worked to Solemn Cup up there. I was there for 9 years, and the owners of Hogs Head are from the New York area as well. So there's a connection there with New York and Waterville and me and all that there. So yeah, absolutely, yeah. It opens up doors wherever you go. And I go over to the GIS every year, and I still meet some of the boys over there from Bethpage and that. I got invited to go back and volunteer for this year's Ryder Cup. It's not going to work out. We have a member guest around the same time, but things like that,
Yeah. And we have Glenn there. And Glenn, what you're hearing from these guys is that, that network, that camaraderie, and the tournaments. And if you come on the program, we will get you into one, maybe two, if not three tournaments. I think Cormac might have done Eastlake for the Tour Championship as well. So, and I mean, with Stu right there, look at Stu, you did Muirfield, and then you did Arnold Palmer's tournament as well. How good is it to do those tournaments, Stu?
Yeah, it's amazing. To get that experience, as David says, and a couple of guys have said there, the connections that you make. Typically something like a US Open, but any of the PGA tournaments, you have a whole host of volunteers that come in. They're usually representing very good clubs across the country, across the states, some international people as well. And then when you go back to these conferences again, as David said, you meet these same familiar faces, you get introduced to new people. That's just a huge part. You hear it said that it's not necessarily what you know, it's who you know. And I think this industry is so small across the world. Once you start making connections, you get some familiar faces. You just never know where you might want to end up, and then you see a job come up, and sure enough, it's posted by somebody that you've already met, and it might just be a brief conversation. It might be a couple of days at a tournament, but now you've got a leg up that other people simply don't have. So yeah, the tournament volunteering is fantastic, and obviously the best way to do it is through the program.
When I see Robbie Moore on there, would you believe it? Robbie Moore's younger brother is on the program at the moment. Hi, Robbie. Good to see you, buddy.
Good to see you. How are you?
I'm good. In a while, mate.
Yeah, 10 years, yeah.
Tell us a little bit about your background.
So I went over in 2013 to Oakmont. I was there for 6 months. Obviously, I think the biggest takeaway for me from there was the standards that they set. Course presentation, the machinery, everything has its place. Nothing's out of place. Got to volunteer at a local course there, Fox Chapel, for a seniors major event. And then after that, went on to San Francisco to Lake Merced, and got to do a build up there to a LPGA event. So working closely with the LPGA's agronomists in the build up to the event and how they get the course ready for tournaments. So yeah, definitely eye opening and life changing, like you said.
And now your brother is on the program out in Colorado, getting ready to do the U.S. Senior Open, right?
Yeah. He's only out there a couple of weeks now, so he's settling in, getting used to the altitude and everything like that. I think he found an Irish bar, so he's happy out.
Yeah, Damien, the big thing is that, you know, we have that network, we have the reputation. Yeah, I know I'm good looking, you know, but it's not my good looks that do this every day. It's people like George Eastwood that are recommending the program to people like Glenn and Jamie. And I mean, that's what we're going to rely on. People like Cormac, you know, recommending it to others. Cormac has helped me bring other people on the program. So this is important to do things like this. And we all know you can't afford to lose anybody today, you know, from your golf course. But if we work as a network, and if we see a young lad or a young gal, mind you, we bring a number of females on the program as well. If there's any that are interested in coming, we're very supportive of that. I get very good support from Syngenta in doing this this year, and Cormac would remember it. I think I took 39, 40 guys and gals to San Diego. Damien, I saw you out there, and I mean that conference is really good to do something like that, Damien, for their
Yeah, no,
education.
the experience of going to the conference, I think, you know, opens up guys that have never been there before, girls or guys that have never been there before, just to the whole industry and to the education that's available. We're running a scholarship out to it now every year as well because of that. We believe strongly in that, in what it's opening their minds, it's letting them see what's out there potentially for them as well, which is fantastic. So no, going to the conference and being at the conference is a great experience. No more than being on the program with you. It's like when you see the lads walking around with the phones in the air everywhere they go, it kind of just makes
Yeah,
you
yeah,
understand
yeah,
maybe what
yeah,
you know, the opportunity that you're giving them, and it's
yeah,
kind of cool.
yeah,
So we'll keep doing that. As I say, we've a good relationship built with GCCA with that. So we've two guys we're putting out there on a scholarship every year. So
yeah,
bringing them to the likes of the show and all that is a major opportunity as
yeah.
well, mate.
I think you had two of my guys, Gary Byrne and Billy O'Keefe, there the first year when he kicked it off. It was really great to see the two of them, and they're both doing very well. Where's
Yeah,
Gary at? Is he up?
yeah. Gary's not in right now. Yeah, he's
He's in
taking
that
on.
right.
Yeah,
Billy's down
yeah,
at the dare. Well, I
yeah,
better get through this bloody PowerPoint real quick, and I don't need to show any of you guys where Ohio is because you've all been here. So, but really, it is like, why do you choose the states? And like Stu said, you know, you come out here, you see the tournaments and everything like that. I mean, I can tell you right now, and you guys feel it. Golf is good in the states right now. It's booming, and I can't do enough to get more interns in here. I mean, it's amazing. Is it the economy? Is it the stock market? I don't know. But all of my golf courses, and I deal with, you know, very good golf courses, you know, like seeing Robbie talking about Oakmont and places like that, you know, it's why do you choose the states? I mean, it's amazing. And for the young lads to come out here and do this, it's very important because they get to see, you know, the best of everything, but they also get to see some really challenging weather. You know, coming in here to Columbus, of course, you know, at the moment as we speak, Ohio State is national champion. I don't know if you saw, but yesterday they were all inside of the White House with President Trump, and our vice president is an Ohio State guy. The university is booming as well. We couldn't have a better college. We couldn't have a better structure to help the students coming in. And we're always trying to do more. One of the guys complained to me. He said, Mike, you never did that for me back in the 90s. And I said, no, we're always trying to improve the program in that sense, you know. So our program, as you know, was started by Mike Chrisman back in 79. Would you believe it? He still works in the program. He retired and he came back to work. He loves it so much. It's life changing. That's a picture of him right there doing an orientation. We bring in last year we brought in I think over 440 interns from around the world. It's amazing. I mean, turfgrass is the smallest part of our program. Actually, would you believe it? The biggest part is greenhouse, landscape, nursery, floristry, animal husbandry. We do a lot with, of course. I just heard John Beardmore the other day tell me he has 19 trainees from Palace one class, 19 students from one class down in Limerick. So turfgrass is important from Ireland, but we also have the big ag side of things as well. We do a lot in the pig business, a lot in the cheese making, the greenhouse nursery. This is a picture from down at Harbour Town. There's a gal called Lara Arias down at Sawgrass mowing the 17 green at Sawgrass, so we do a lot in that side of things. And I'm finding, the level of conditioning you're doing in Ireland, the demands, Damien, have gone up. People like Stu, all of you, you're all under pressure to produce a better product. How do you produce a better product? If you're over here in the States and you see what's going on, you're going to be more prepared, knowing what's going on in the States and the cutting edge stuff here in the States. You're going to be very, very aware of that sort of thing. So this is just a smattering of courses. Coming up in May, we talk about tournaments. Quail Hollow is having the PGA Championship. I'll have probably 8 or 10 lads there volunteering, and I have 4 there that are doing internships. Stu would know Muirfield Village. There's Harbour Town, Congressional, Pebble Beach, Pine Valley. Lots of very tough golf courses to work. And Robbie was talking about Oakmont. Robbie, how tough was that? Not to scare anybody on here, but how tough were those hours up there, mate?
Yeah, it was a lot of hours. I think on the clocking card, you used to hit the 40-hour mark by the end of the day on Wednesday. So yeah, plenty of overtime there. And I mean, in Oakmont, you lived in the clubhouse, kind of like the Crow's Nest in Augusta.
Yeah.
So you were always kind of on call, but yeah, I mean, it's worth it in the end.
Yeah, but the beauty of this, Damien, is that I have courses for horses. There's some people, as I interview them, I discover they don't need to do 100-hour weeks. And I have courses for that where you can actually enjoy yourself. I don't know if Cormac is still on here. I can't see him, but Cormac was down at Harbour Town. Cormac's maybe more famous because of his sister than himself in his golf game, but Cormac got to play golf down at Harbour Town. I don't know if George is still on here or not, but I'm sure at Harbour Town he got to play some golf. So we're not trying to kill people, George.
No, Mike, there was 50 golf courses in the area, and I tried to play them all. Yeah.
There you go. Glenn,
Yeah.
it's important to know, Glenn, that we don't force everybody, into 100-hour weeks, because I get a bad reputation in New Zealand for that. I'm going to find you the best place. And in fairness now, look, I matched Damien McClafferty up at Fiddlesticks in Florida. Damien, did I do a good job in doing that in honesty now? Did I put you in a good place?
Yeah, I can safely say I enjoyed it, Mike. I liked it so much I didn't want to leave.
Yeah.
When he offered me to go north, I said no. I'm quite happy where I am. So no, I enjoyed this. Actually, to see you brought the picture of it up there.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, fantastic. I loved it. I loved everything about it.
Yeah.
It was plenty of work. It was plenty of easy work.
And that's the thing that I do as I interview people, Glenn. I try to discover what their background is, what their interest is, their passion. Do you play golf? Don't you play golf? This is the whole purpose of what I do, kind of, because I have such a selection of courses around the country. I really kind of have an easy job in doing this. Then I got to go play them all. That's my problem, So, but there's a picture of Trump Doral, whatever your politics is. I got to give it to the boys down at Doral. It's the people behind the name is what I'm interested in. The super down there is a past student of mine from Scotland, Stephen Kelly, great guy. The boys get great experience down there. They have a live event. When you see a course like Cypress Point, I have an Irish fella at Cypress Point right now. Would you believe it? Finian came to me, young fella, big tall young fella. He's loving life out there at Cypress Point. He's got the Walker Cup coming up during the summertime. Fantastic tournament. Pine Valley, you'd all know Pine Valley. Lake Nona is one down in Florida, and there's the White House right there. Actually, that's a picture of Obama and Biden on the putting green. And some of you would know that our interns take care of the putting green side of the White House. They get to go in there and take care of the green at the White House, which is an amazing experience to have something like that, to talk about that, which you can't really do publicly, kind of in that sense. Lake Nona down in Orlando. Some of you would know this place. It's a course run by a past trainee of mine. That's where all the pros. Graham McDowell actually lives down there, and we pulled a prank on an Irish guy one time. He was Graham was his idol, he said, and I got Graham to go out and give him a bollocking on the driving range, and he couldn't believe it. The Graham came up and did said, "I'm just joking with you, man." So that's the whole thing about it. So how to be accepted into the program? Well, the big thing is you must have previous experience. And what you're all doing in Ireland now, and Owen Buckley is not on here, but the program they have down in Kildalton and what Glenn is going through, that's key. That kind of experience in Ireland is important. I want people to have that framework, that structure. Back in the day, George or Robbie or Damien, you didn't have that benefit of that kind of an education to get you a good footing, but you got to this stage. You must have good references, and naturally with Glenn there, with George, he's going to get good references. Jamie, well, all the other guys. But what I'm trying to stress to the young people is that you're accountable. What you do in Ireland and the project or whatever, I build on that then in helping you get a good placement over here. References are good. You must show that you want to get more education. As we said earlier, and we have people going to the conference and people like Cormac going to the conference. It's very important to go to that GCSA conference. This year, 39, 40 guys. Damien was out there. I put everyone through 4 seminars, and I paid for everyone's seminars, $500 a piece for them to go to those seminars. Nobody else in America, I'll tell you right now, had 40 guys at the conference this year, and nobody was paying for them to go. And I find today, Damien, I have to do more than just the norm. And I'm talking to all of you guys about doing this. I'm going out and finding the money to pay the guys to go to seminars. People are saying I'm a big glorified babysitter. Well, if I am, that's fine. But I'm telling you, they're walking away with that education and 4 of the best seminars at GCSA. Red Evans, these people. They're very vested, Damien. Say a few words. I'm delighted with the relationship you have with the GCSA, Damien.
Yeah, we've developed a great relationship with Brett and the whole GCSA to the point where the 2 guys we are sending over have full access to all the education that they want to go to. So, like as you say, the cost of the education in America is, from our perspective, steep. Like when you're paying €250 or $250 or $300 or whatever to go to a class or a half-day seminar, for us that's expensive, and it limits the opportunity for a lot of Irish guys to actually get over there.
Yeah.
So we have a good relationship with GCCA, and we're able to work at that. We're able to send the 2 guys on not just over to the conference. They have full access to whatever education they want to do when they're actually there.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
it's a massive development for us as an association, and something that we're delighted to have, and it's because of that relationship we have with GCCA.
Yeah, and when people like Glenn come on the program, they get their conference package paid for free. They get the seminars paid for free. I mean, that's the whole benefit in being on the program. You do that, and the network involved as well. So it's critical to have that experience when you come on the program. You must have a clean background. We do all the criminal background stuff. We do all the visa work to help the guys when they come on the program. You have to plan in advance and save money. Now, all of you on here, I think, even Robbie Moore, you all made enough money to pay back the cost of the program. And honestly, Robbie, it's getting even more and more to the point where guys make too much money on the program that I have to get them to start putting more money away in their taxes before they get hit with that big tax bill at the end of the year. And that's a good problem, let me tell you, because now the wages are going up. And that's the kind of thing that I want to see in progress around the world. Is in Ireland, are they going to get paid more? Is the industry going to do more to step up and help them get better wages so we can retain these people in the profession, retain quality people for you out there as superintendents? So that's the whole goal of the program as well, to see the value of the program in that sense. So the other thing is you must plan in advance, save money. George Eastwood is recommending Glenn to do this, but Glenn won't be coming until next April. So the nice thing is he's planning in advance. He's going to be done with his education. George is recommending him to come out and do something like this. And I'll tell you, it's very much harder now to do 18 months like you did, Damien. Most of the time now, the length that I get is 7 months or 12 months. A lot of people want to come a shorter time, which is fine with me. What I do recommend, if they do, is to go on to New Zealand or Australia. I have very good relationship with the top clubs. Some of you might have heard of Tara Eady or Tiaria Links in New Zealand, Royal Melbourne in Australia. if you are going to go, and again, this comes back to being looking after the Irish interns, is going on to good golf courses. I see a number of English lads and Irish lads go on to Australia, New Zealand, and they don't go to good clubs. I don't know if Cormac is still on there, but some of Cormac's friends went on to Royal Sydney and having a fantastic time down there. And that's what I'm trying to do, is keep you in the game, keep you at quality courses, keep you focused, so that when you go back to Ireland, you have a hell of a resume in the process, you know. So, but like I said earlier, you will recoup all the costs. You must be clean cut. Well, you know, clean cut is very important today at the quality of courses that I deal with over here. And I get some rough and ready lads still coming in, but I can tell you, credit to you guys, the type of applicant I'm getting today are clean cut. They are very well prepared. Many of them have already gone and done tournaments. Not to put Glenn on the spot there, George, but have you sent him to any tournament while he's been there?
Yeah, last September I did the Irish Open up in Royal County Down.
And I sent him. I told him to go.
Yep. Yeah, no, but that's a feed off from the whole thing, and I would call on all of you to do that with your young people. And Damien, that's brilliant. That's great that George is kicking him out the door to go do this, George. Is that right? And getting him to do that.
Yeah, definitely.
And Glenn, how did you like it? Did you meet a lot of people up there?
Ah, yeah, the networking's great. Even still today, like I know one of the interns that's going over this year, Tiernock. I think he's gone to somewhere near New York and then Pebble Beach the final 6 months. So, but yeah, the networking was great, and even just the experience. It was my first tournament, so just getting that little bit of tournament prep, like I was cutting fairways throughout the week, and it was phenomenal. Great experience.
Yeah, and Tiernock is actually up at Plainfield Country Club with Travis Pawley already. He's came in with 40 other guys there the first week of April. So it's very, very good in that sense. So the clean cut, the image, the is very important. You know, they expect somebody who wants to be the best, future leaders, and that's what we're trying to grow here. And the last point you answered for me, Glenn, you volunteer for events before you come on the program. That's what I want to see. And Damien, that's more of what we should be doing, is seeking out these young lads and making sure that they get to volunteer at tournaments. I know you're a big supporter of that yourself.
Yeah, I mean, like every year, this year it'll be the same up in with the Irish Open in the K Club, but Jamie's there now this year, so you know, we're helping them out there. I've been on to them already, so they ran a good program there in the K Club the last time, in terms of busing the lads out to it, feeding them well, put them in good accommodation, had nice gear for them and all that kind of stuff, which is important as well. So no, it's a big aspect of networking and moving forward.
Yeah. You know, how to be accepted, you know, it's all of the things that you know, Glenn's done. He's got good experience, good references, good grades, previous employer references, clean criminal record, financial planning. And Glenn, it's important to plan financially for what you're going to be doing. This is the linter placements. We have different linter placements for people, and the 7-month placement is actually for Australians and New Zealanders. They come in their winter, they come into high-end courses up north, but that would be what Glenn would be doing when he comes in, is to come in then and then do like a 12-month placement, go from cool season to warm season, getting that variety. And I mean, Damien, you went down south and there was nothing wrong with that. I will design a program for every individual. It's nothing. And look at David. David stayed at Bethpage and never went down south, and it didn't hurt him. Now Stu did. How good was that, Stu, that you went from Muirfield Village to Bay Hill? Wasn't that kind of different?
Yeah, it was. It was great. I think we had the hottest summer on record in Ohio that year, Mike, 2012 in Muirfield Village. And then I went down to Bay Hill down in Florida for October through April, but which was also very hot, but we got the experience of overseeing the entire golf course with ryegrass and poa trivialis, grew that in for the following April, which was the Arnold Palmer Invitational. So totally different experience from Ohio, but just as good. And yeah, really worthwhile doing the two different parts of that.
I think you're the only one that probably got to say that they work for Jack Nicklaus and Arnold Palmer, but I heard the rumor that you were not allowed to mention Jack's name around the property down there. Is that true?
Yeah, possibly, yes. But I
Possible.
did get to meet Arnold Palmer a couple of times, which was fantastic.
I know that. I know that for a fact, actually. I've got a picture later on here. But the key is here to realize we will design a program for these guys, Damien, that they can go anywhere. And I mean, this is just a archaic map of the States, but you can see the concentration up here in the Northeast. And Robbie would attest to this. Some of the best superintendents are up here in the Northeast because they have to deal with the harshest weather, hottest summer on record. We say that every year. I mean, it's just amazing to make the guys feel good. It always seems to be the hottest on record or the wettest or something. But I'm telling you, and with David Daly up there in New York City, I mean, the hours he put in, the heat, the rain, the disease pressure. David, how good was that? How much pressure was that? That was beneficial to you, wasn't it?
Oh, massively, yeah. Yeah, but just I mean, the hours, like we all talk about the hours. We worked really long hours. Obviously, build up the US Open and all that there. But there's, as you said earlier on, Mike, there's so much to do outside of that as well. You know what I mean? I was very lucky with the guys I work with. They had different events weekly where we all kind of got together, whether we played golf or whatever it was. But yeah, I mean, I decided to stay in New York, as I said, because I wanted to experience the build up to the US Open. We had a really, really cold winter. There was snow. There was all that there. We did it all ready and turned around for June the following year, which was a massive for me in my career as well. You know.
I'm doing the very same thing with a guy at Bethpage right now, actually, a guy by the name of Huey Ryan. He's getting ready for the Ryder Cup in September, and he's already doing big hours. And I said to him, "Are you able to handle it?" He goes, "Mike, I wouldn't miss it for the world. It's the
Yeah.
team and the
Yeah.
morale, and that morale is fantastic. And you can't buy that morale. I mean, nobody ever complains about the hours when you got a big event like that coming up, you know. So, but that gives you an idea. Yes, Robbie's brother is out at the Broadmoor. Great people out there. He's going to have a wonderful time out there. I had him talk to the previous intern that was there. We do a lot of that, Damien. Now we do way more than we did when you were here because we have WhatsApp, we have internet. They can communicate way much better, So, and I mean, down in Florida, I've just got so many great golf courses down there for the winter time if they want to go down that way, So, but we do expect people to do reports. It's an important part of all of your jobs now. We get them trying to do more of the reports. We do go through the application process. It's all online now. Again, it's all about the portrayal of professionalism is what I call it, and that image kind of we want these clean cut kind of guys. We want that image to start right from the beginning. It portrays you as wanting to be the best you can be, and it's frightening. I tell people, look, that member's out there. He's paying $250,000 to be a member. He wants somebody taking care of his baby. And that's the way they look at it. That's my baby, and that's how everybody should look at it, So, but we do evaluations, and we are, very much on the point. I was up in Iceland. This is an evaluation called Barney Hansen. He's very much involved in his association up in Iceland now. He sent me 3 interns so far from Iceland. Iceland is booming. They got so much golf, and they're attracting the Americans into Iceland because you guys got so many in Ireland. Iceland is growing, and they're doing that. But Barney was here, and he remembers his evaluation, and that's the key. Is we want you to be successful. We talk you through it, So the question is, are internships worth it? You build your CV. You hear it on here today. You grow as a person. I mean, it's really changed. And I mean, I see somebody like Cormac Welsh, and Cormac, what's it done for him, like network around the world? Cormac, tell us about that. How much did it do for you from a networking standpoint, and what it's done for your confidence? And you're a brave Clareman down in Cork at the Old Head of Kinsale. That takes some moxie now.
Yeah, no, it was brilliant for me. Like, went over, made a lot of connections, and as you were saying about going back over for tournaments, but even like that as well, there's also friends that I met, like Seamus from Harbour Town, and then loads of local people from Hilton Head. I actually go over visit them, and there's actually a few of them coming to Ireland now in August to visit, and I get invited back every year to Eastlake for the Tour Championship, which I just got the email there recently to go back over this year in August. So it's a decision now to go over there or not. But I've made some great contacts, and it opened my eyes to the way the industry was.
And a funny story, Damien. I have a lot of people around Columbus ask me, where do I go play golf in Ireland? And I mentioned the Old Head. And this member, he went over there and he played, and turned out he actually got Cormac as a caddy. And he was in the bar telling me about the great experience he had. And he said, I even met a guy at the Old Head, and he'd been in America on this program. And I don't know what the program, I couldn't remember his name now. He had an Irish name. And I said, was it Cormac? And he almost fell off his chair. And he goes, that was your man. Yes. And that's the customer service, Cormac. I noticed the guy was so happy. But you know how to talk to the Yanks now as a result of this, don't you?
Oh yeah, definitely, yeah. So there's, yeah, it was interesting the way when you sent me the picture as well that your man got me to take out on the golf course.
Yeah, yeah. Damien, this is an important part of it for young people today. Know how to stand up and man up to an American in your golf course and be able to be accommodating. And I think this is very important, Damien, for young people to talk to them. And when they get surprised when a guy tells them, "Yeah, I've been in the States. I was down at Fiddlesticks." How many times have you done that, Damien?
Yeah, it's amazing when you do meet Americans, etc. Like, and you turn around and say you lived and worked in America. It's always like it's a great, how would you say, segue into conversation with them. It's a great way of introducing yourself and putting yourself forward. And as you say, maybe you get taken a little bit more seriously when you say things like that as well.
Yeah, this is a picture from the conference number of years ago, and like I say up there, I put my money where my mouth is. Look, $500. You can imagine my bill to pay for all these buggers. I mean, it was an expensive bill. Let me tell you, I had to squeeze a lot of people's hands to get the money out of them to pay for every one of these boys, and then get them those backpacks. That's the president of Syngenta standing on one side, and that's me on the other side right there, and a fantastic group. And even right through COVID, we got people in for the GCSA. It was amazing to get them into the country. And I think the GCSA program, what they do there is fantastic. I get great support from GCSA to do something like this. And like I said earlier, that networking is amazing. David Daly, we didn't do this back in your day, but I think you've been back for the GCSA yourself. Would you recommend that to somebody
Oh,
like Glenn, David?
absolutely, yeah. It's I went to my first one in 2015 or 16, and I went every year since, and it's amazing. Again, it's America. Everything's so big in America. The show is amazing. The education is very good. But back in our day, Mike, we went to we had the thing in Orlando, the what you call it, the short course,
Titusville, and
Titusville, yeah.
you
Um,
remember that?
I do remember that. I remember myself and another guy being late for Sawgrass. Remember that? Myself and Enda Garrigan.
Yeah, I wonder why you were late.
We missed the bus. But no,
Yeah,
those things where you all come together, meet the other interns, hear about their experiences,
yes.
swap ideas with them. That's all invaluable as well, you know.
Yeah, yeah. George Eastwood is laughing because I'm sure, George, you remember. Did you go to a conference back then?
I sent myself to the national conference. So myself, Jason Foster, and the other guy, what was his name? Blair Smith. The three of us went over
Blair.
to Texas. So we did that
Yeah,
one
yeah,
ourselves, and I
yeah,
did the short course as well. So yeah, good times.
yeah. It's very important to get to these conferences. We're doing more and more nowadays. We back in those days, Stu, I don't remember, where would you have gone, Stu? Would you have gone to Hilton Head or?
Second. Sorry, Mike, was that for tournament volunteering or?
Well, no, to the conference, the education. Where did you finish up?
During the program? Uh, During the program, I didn't get to any, but I've been back to when I worked in Vancouver. I was down at the American conference each year.
Yeah, and it's essential to do it, isn't it, to get to these conferences?
Correct. Yeah.
So we really try to do this. Speaking of you, Stu, you got to meet Arnold Palmer. Nobody cannot believe you now. Look at you standing next to him, and he was notorious for squeezing your shoulder, wasn't he, and shaking your hand.
Yeah, he was unbelievable. He came down to the maintenance facility during tournament week, signed autographs, took photos, and then as I wrapped up my internship, we were brought up to the pro shop. We were told to pick something out from the pro shop, and then we were brought in, and he was in there signing flags, signing shirts, and we got a photo with him. So just an unbelievable person.
You can't see it in the picture, but there's an American football right off the edge of the picture there. It's an Ohio State football. He was good friends with our coach at Ohio State, and a nice man and a good example for all of us of to be how quality of a person he was too, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was amazing. He'd come by and we were hand watering greens, and he just parked his golf cart and talked to us, ask us questions, just so
Yeah.
personal.
Yeah, yeah, and he's been a great leader and a great one to all the players as well, So, what happened to the fella that was next to you right here? He wasn't on the program, was he?
Yeah, he was. Yeah, Kieran Glavin is down in he stayed down in Florida. I believe he's still down in Florida now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's amazing, So, but that's the access that you get when you come over here. These two boys were working at Quail Hollow. They went down to the Jacobson factory, and the president Jacobson happened to be that day right on the property, and he gave them the tour himself. You know what young people don't realize is that all of these people in the turf business, and Damien, I love it, they all want you to do well. They all want you to advance. And for the president of Jacobson to give the tour to these guys was just fantastic. And that's the great thing about the program. My job's easy in that sense, you know. So, but when you get through, you get a certificate at the end nowadays. You know, it's very important to do something like that. The costs of the program for somebody like Glenn, the application fee is $5.95. You only pay it after we find a placement for you. You have to pay a security background check called a CVIS fee, $220. The embassy application fee to go into the embassy is $185, and the health insurance is about $100 a month for off the job, Damien. On the job, they have workers' compensation, but off the job, we have good health insurance on them. We do have accidents. We do have people go skydiving and do stupid stuff still today. You know, it's amazing, you know. So, but and we recommend that people bring out about $500 when they come out on the program before they get paid. But like I said, the wages are actually very good. This is a particular slide that in researching before I did this presentation, I want you to see this. This really amazes me. I mean, as to what's the people that are back in Ireland that have been on the program, and you know, it's amazing to see something like this. You know, it's just, you know, people like Cormac. You know, there's all kinds of people. David Brady up at Tulfaris, I didn't know about it. Owen Buckley, Niall Buckley down at it there. But Damien, when you see that list, does it surprise you?
Yeah, I was amazed at like the amount of people that's on it, first and foremost, Mike. And the minute I saw it, I said we should do something. That's the first thing I said to you when I saw that when
Yeah,
I saw the list that was there. I
yeah.
said we should definitely try and get everybody that's on that list together.
Cormac,
For some
I
form
mean,
of a day along the
it's
line.
it's amazing. I realize, Cormac, that I don't see your name on there, but you're ever present, you know. So, but you know, I see, you know, people like Stuart up in County Sligo, you know, Graham Walsh at the Grange. You know, it's amazing. Dean Brock at Farnham. I mean, there's a lot of good people on there, and it's really kind of it told me that what I'm doing is right, Damien. Look at the quality of people that are back there. Gary Byrne at Rye, you know, Brian Cox is working for the European Tour. Timmy Crowley is down at the ring at Kerry. David Daly probably doesn't even know Tim Crowley. David, do you know Tim Crowley?
Yes, didn't you send him over to me for? He was my assistant for 2 years in when he came back a few years ago from the States. He was my assistant here in Hogs for 2 years, and
He
now
was.
he's from Kinmare, so he's gone back home to Kinmare to take up Ria Kerry.
Yeah, yeah, and that's the kind of guys that are out there that we realize. People criticize me saying, "Oh, well, if my guy goes on the program, we'll never see him again. He'll never come back to Ireland." Well, I'm sure I'm missing people on there, but that's just a list. Seamus Moriarty down at Doneraile, you know, Keith Murray at the Island. I mean, I could go on and on. And I mean, Damien, I don't know if you can take that list and you can get in touch with people like Timmy Crowley and those
Yeah,
kind of people, you know, to see what
absolutely.
ATPI can do for them. The biggest thing is to what do they need? What are they doing with their young people that are working for them? You know, are they taking advantage of this program that, you know, I'll bring somebody over and we'll send them back to Ireland. We'll do this. Guys like George Eastwood doing what he's doing for Glen. You know, it's amazed me the numbers that are on here. You know, Paul Farron at Power Score, I have not been in touch with him. So part of this is my fault. You know, Alan Hammond up there at Royal Dublin went back to Ireland. He was in America for a number of years, like Stewie was in Canada, and he's there at Royal Dublin, demanding high-end golf course, lots of Yanks in there. You know, a lot of it is driven by that kind of thing, that the Yanks look at Niall Buckley down at Adair Manor. You know, the demands of the quality, the standard for all of us, for all of you. It's there in your golf course every day. So this really kind of amazed me, and this I only put it together yesterday. I'm sure I missed people, and I apologize to anybody that I missed. If I did miss you, please tell me, and I will add you to that list, and we'll do something, Damien, to get people together like this, because this is a very cohesive group. People like David and Stu out there at good courses, and Robbie Moore, all those guys, George. I mean, it's amazing, you know. So this is Seamus Moriarty right here with Keith Murray, the two biggest codgers you ever met in your life when they came on the program. I mean, these boys knew how to have a good time, but knew how to work hard as well, actually. You know, Robbie was talking about going out to Lake Merced. These two boys were at Lake Merced as well, Robbie. I don't know if you're still on here. I can't see you, but did you know these people, Robbie, or not?
Yeah, I knew Keith from Nice. Still in touch with him. yeah, and Stu was a nice, a good. There was a good few that came through nice there at the time with David Bean. So,
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah, it was great.
They're good guys. I put a Kerryman and a Dub together, and the All Ireland final that year was Dublin and Kerry. And your man called me, Keaton. He said, "Listen, if you find this guy dead with a kitchen knife in the back of his head, you'll understand why." I mean, it was funny as hell that they got put together, but they finished up.
Keith's actually on the call, Mike.
Keith, where is Keith? I can't see him.
Yeah.
I can't
Well,
see him. I'm
I'm
sorry.
hiding here, Mike. Yeah, that was a great year. Dublin winning the All Ireland. Thanks for mentioning that. Being
You
famous.
had to stick that in there, didn't you?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. But
Keith,
no, just yeah, we were lucky where you sent us, Mike, that year because we had been sort of let down by Pat Finlan in the Olympic club that year, and
yes,
you
sir.
managed to get us something really quick in Lake Merced, and Zach had just started in Lake Merced, and we went in as two assistants in training with Zach for the 18 months, and we had the girls US Junior then in 2012, and then Olympic Club had US Open same year as well. So it was great to get all them tournaments in. And we obviously met up with the Olympic interns quite a lot as well because we're only a mile down the road, you know.
Yes, yes. And that's the benefit of it, Damien. I mean, these guys were so adaptable. We were going to put them into the Olympic Club. It was all set. Pat's Irish, and it was all set, but unfortunately, Union squashed me, and I had to do a bait and switch very quickly. And the two boys, I mean, you'd say life-changing experience, Keith. Was that memorable?
Yeah, like I think obviously we were sort of going over with the expectation we're going to be at a big tournament club where Lake Mead probably doesn't have the same name as Olympic Club for obvious reasons, but I think coming away with the experience, we're sort of thrown in the deep end, if you want to call it, like trying to, I had 6 Mexicans and 2 Filipinos working underneath me, and it's very rare you probably get that chance on the program, because normally you're probably going in, working your way up the ladder rather than going in
Yes,
sort of
yes,
top of the ladder, So it was
yes.
a unique experience and
Yeah.
one that stands you in good ground going forward.
You can't beat that. And Robbie's laughing because he did the same thing. I mean, at Lake Merced, and you get thrown in the deep end. And I mean, look, it takes horses for courses. I knew the two of you guys could handle it. I knew you were with a good guy in Zach and doing that. And then you got to work the US Open for the 2 weeks of the US Open. Fantastic experience. And it stood to you then. You went on to the Wisley in England, and then you're at the island now. How good is that?
Yeah, no, great. Look, yeah, it's obviously, it's a big CV builder, going through the Ohio State program and then the connections that you make when you finish, as you said, like I think I went to Wentworth after with your connections with Kenny McCoy and went with them for 18 months and then went on to the Wisley with another ex-intern, John Lockyer and Danny Murray, So the Ohio State has provided loads of connections to each job I came into, and obviously then moved home and then at a decent club in the island.
I wouldn't say it's decent. It's a top-notch club. It's a wonderful club, and you get a lot of Yanks in there, and you know how to talk to them. Keith, we were talking earlier. I didn't see you on there. How good are you at phoning up to the Yanks and talking to them now?
I'm probably not as good as Cormac there doing the caddying, but no, look, we get our fair share of Americans. We probably have maybe 6,500 North Americans each year,
Wow.
and
Yeah.
look, it pays for the run of the club,
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
without their money,
Yeah.
we can't invest in the way we
Yeah,
do.
yeah. No, that's brilliant. And I mean, that's the thing, Damien, that kind of experience, you can't buy it. People like Keith out there, I'm just so proud of all of you guys, to be honest with you. I mean, I never imagined in my wildest dreams, that there was that opportunity, that advancement in Ireland. And in fairness to you guys, it's credit to you, you're raising the standards and we want to keep it going. And I've fallen down on the job of coming into Ireland and squeezing all of you. If there's any young person working with you, if you're encouraging somebody in the door for an interview, if Robbie Moore has a leg come in for an interview, talk about the fact, take advantage of the program, saying, listen, I was on this program, or I know a guy in the States can help us. We'll get a framework together to build you up and send you on over there and do something like this and come back. That's the goal of this program, is to come back into Ireland and do this kind of thing. So Damien's got me under pressure here, so I got to shut up and move on. So we'll help you get the best placement. You can do this. If you have young people that you can help, of course, this PowerPoint's dedicated towards people like Glenn, but you have that network, you have that framework around you now. And the thing is, the young people today have an excellent reputation in America because people like yourselves Robbie, Damien, Keith out there. You've all built the program for me. I run into people all the time, Keith, that knew you guys out there in San Francisco. You guys have left an excellent reputation, and it makes my job really easy. George Cormac down there at Sea Pines, it's amazing, you know. So there's such a great network. Employers know then if you've done the program, going over to the Wisley, going to Wentworth, they knew you'd been in the States. I mean, they come to me asking me for guys coming back from the program. So after the program, it's easy, confidence, experience, credibility. I mean, it's amazing. So like John Lockyer said, grab the opportunity with both hands. John is still there at the Wisley, keep doing this kind of thing, you know. So, but, and I put this on there, especially Cormac for you. I bet you played that hole a number of times, Cormac, haven't you?
Yeah, plenty of times.
Yeah, I got a par on that hole, let me tell you, and not to put it on there, but it's important that young people today play a little bit of golf. I'm not very good. I'm a bit of a smuggler, but I love to play the courses, and I really enjoy it. And that's an epic course down there. That's number 17 at Harbour Town, Damien. Very tough test. You got to aim for that palm tree and hope for the best, kind of in that sense. So, and this is really a picture of the people in my office that you always see my ugly picture, and you don't realize that there's a team behind me. There's a young lady from Brazil. There's Pedro. He's also from Brazil. We have a huge market out of Brazil. John Beardmore from England. He's been there a long time. Victor is from Ecuador. Yuning is from China. And there's Mike Chrisman. He's still here, 47 years doing this. And we have a huge team that have all been interns ourselves. We have the experience to help anybody come through the program. They back me up. They make me look good. And I can tell you right now, the paperwork, Damien, from your day, it's unbelievable. I mean, the accountability we have to the State Department. People are asking me, can you get visas today? Are you worried? Da, 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 da. No, we're not worried. We have the access. We know what we're doing. We're getting visas, no problem. I think we already have almost 320 people in the country this spring so far. But turfgrass is the smallest part of it. And of course, it's my baby. It's my favorite area, even though I manage the whole program now. I take care of floristry, I take care of greenhouses, all that side of things, the winery business, and turfgrass is the best because I'll tell you why. Because of people like you. I mean, it's just that's why I do this kind of in that sense. And I'm really thankful to all of you for what you do. I see Michael Brown on here. I apologize, Michael. I don't recognize your name. I don't know what golf course you're from, Michael. I feel bad because I like to think I know everybody in the business, but go ahead, Michael. I'll give you the last word if you're on there. I don't know if he's muted. Oh, is that?
He unmuted himself, so he's there. I just don't know. Maybe
Okay.
The phone or something isn't working.
Damien, we're under pressure here. Is there anything else I can say about this?
No, I think you've done well, Mike. And believe it or not, you did it all nearly within time. So I was believing everything you said until you said you got a part. You actually paired that part 3. So that is yeah, no,
come on.
No, listen. Thanks a million, Mike. I think amazing just to see all the guys that are on here that were part of the program that I didn't even realize were. So
Yes.
I think from that perspective, unbelievable. George's young man that's there with him. Hopefully he gets on your program and gets going, and experiences everything that we had a chance to experience as well. And I think the program is doing a fantastic job, and you're doing a great job with it, Mike. So no, thanks a million.
No, I appreciate it, and I appreciate all of you. And George, you're an example to all the other supers on here. You're encouraging the lad. Last word to you, George. What do you say about it?
No, it's going to build his career. It's going to set him up. The confidence you get from it, you have to do it. Fantastic, Mike.
Yep. Alrighty. Thanks to all of you guys for coming on here. Cormac as well. Really appreciate it. Damien's going to record it. Sorry, we got off to a rough start, but if any of you are out there and you have somebody, use the program as a marketing tool for yourselves to get people in the door in Ireland. But I think this group, Damien, I think we're going to have to do something about this.
Yeah, I don't know what everybody's opinion quickly here it is. Like, would guys be interested in trying to get everyone together that was on the Ohio program?
Yeah.
That'd be great.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I think everybody's nodding to that one, Mike. So you're back in late August, September. We'll try and do something.
Absolutely.
We'll knock our heads together and see what we can come up with between now and then. Maybe we'll play down the Hog's Head with David or something. See the eyebrows up there.
It cost more than $500, Mike.
Bring the $500
I bet- I better start fundraising.
I think it's something when I see the list of people that are there, I think it'd be fantastic for everybody that was on the program to come together. We'll try and make that happen.
Alrighty. Well, thanks to
Definitely.
all of you guys. I know Cormac's got to go back to more greens. Thanks very much. And let's do this again sometime next year,
You've
Damien.
got the
Really
West of Ireland
appreciate
on at the minute, Stu, haven't you?
Have you got the West of Ireland, Cormac?
No, me. It starts tomorrow.
Yeah, it starts tomorrow. Best of luck with that, Stu.
Thanks, everyone.
All right. Thank you,
We'll see
guys.
you up there shortly.